Woo-hoo! Rock and roll, rock and roll. Welcome
Hey.
to the 27th edition of Yma Mat Chat with Mr. Yarwood from Yarwood's Martial Arts and Coach Les from Less is More Coaching. Whoop, whoop. And today we are going to be discussing the importance of mindset in personal and martial arts life. So I'm going to let you go ahead and get started.
I think mindset is something. It seems like people talk about it a lot, right? And what I think happens is that it's become kind of diluted as to what it really is. And I think when I think about mindset, I think about how it is that you think about going about doing the things you love to do, or the way you go about your daily life. And I think mindset is important in that when you have the correct mindset, it flows into everything else that you do, right? If you in our school, we actually have a rule about a specific word, and that specific word, we call it the C word, but it's the word can't, right? And we've, for lack of a better term, banned it from everybody's vocabulary. For a couple reasons, but the main reason is that it makes you quit. When you say can't, you're telling your brain that whatever task you're working on, whatever thing you're doing, you can't do it. You're going to quit. So we, as one of our basic rules, we have actually removed it from vocabulary. We also have consequences for saying it. So if mom and dad or any instructors or other students hear you say it, you get, I don't know, it could be 10 burpees, could be 10 push-ups. I give mom and dad the power to do whatever it is they think that their student needs to do. So it's mindset for us is it's runs through the fabric of what we do, because when you have an attitude or a mindset of too hard, I quit, when you allow that to seep into your thinking, it becomes very powerful. And the opposite is true too, is if you run into something that's a challenge or an obstacle and you say, you know what, I'm not going to quit. I'm going to figure out how to get around it, under it, through it, over it, whatever it takes to make it happen. So we have mindset as one of our foundational concepts of what we teach in the martial arts.
And for me, mindset, I'm going to read what you wrote because I think it's so perfect, is a cornerstone of success in both personal life and martial arts practice. It shapes how we approach challenges, interact with each other, and pursue growth. A strong, positive mindset enables individuals to unlock their potential, overcome obstacles, and live. I think age and mindset, a lot of people say, well, gosh, you've got the wisdom of the ages, therefore mindset's easy. Well, the flip side of that is I have so much crazy experience, I should go hide in a hole or go off the grid and create my own home and buy 180 acres in the middle of the woods so that I could eat and fend for myself. Mindset is a powerful, powerful tool because it gives us that ability to deal with what would I call it? That internal voice that is constantly saying, I can't. I don't want change. I don't want change. I don't want change. I don't want change. I can't. So with that, I pass it back over to you, Mr. Yarwood.
Yeah, it's easy. It's easy to go negative. That's like default, right? The first thing you do is if something gets just a little bit challenging, a little bit tough, it's easy to quit. Everybody can quit, right? Doesn't take much. What it takes to complete your task, to finish, to do what it is you need to do, whether it's a challenge or not, that's where the mindset, the power of positive mindset comes in, right?
Yep.
It's a lot harder to finish what you're doing, even if it's hard, than it is to quit. Because once you quit once, it's even easier the next time, right? Because if the first time you quit, like, whoa, hey, that was pretty easy. The next time, the less of a challenge comes up to you, and you're like, oh, I'll just quit. Because there's responsibility to completing the task. There's none of that stuff. You just quit and you move on, and at least you think there's no responsibility to it. But it actually, I think, when you're thinking about it that way, it's worse for you because it continues on and on and on, and it becomes your default mindset. And it's just it tears everything apart that you want to do. You'll never complete any tasks. You'll never be successful if all you ever do is quit. And when you have a mindset like that, it's damaging, and it affects other people too, because they start to see that. And especially if you're talking about, oh man, because if you have a mindset that you quit everything, and then you have a friend who's trying to get something done, right? And they just go, nah, man, don't worry about it. Just figure out something else. Go other way. You just quit. It's easy. Let's go get something to drink. Let's go out for coffee instead of getting the work done, right? And that constant picking at somebody else, you affect them as well. So it's a dangerous path to start down once you start down it, because it gets very downhill steep very quickly.
Momentum.
Yep.
The more poop that piles on, the faster you go.
Yep.
So for me, I look at mindset as one of our tools that we've been given and in that tool, there's an opportunity to, as we've already mentioned, overcome fear, create a stronger mind-body connection, set ourselves up for powerful emotional relationships. So, what is that mind-body connection? How are you doing health-wise? What is your vision? What is your why? Are you connected to it? And for me, that's the place where the rubber meets the road. What are you learning? How's it expanding you? Do you respect and honor your instructors and the people around you? Then do this.
Yeah, we have. When I attribute it specifically to martial arts, obviously it parallels with life. But when we talk about that mindset of not quitting, of continuing on, having perseverance, whatever you want to call it, that's what gets people to the next level. And I think, and the same can apply to a positive mindset that does to a negative mindset. That once you achieve something that you didn't think you'd be able to achieve, or it was really hard to do, and you overcame it, the next time a challenge comes up, you're more likely to say, I got this, right? And those challenges that get in your way are just like, that's just another obstacle. What do I need to do to get past it, right? As opposed, find a way around it, as opposed to, it's too hard, I'm going to quit. Just stop what you're doing and move on to something different, right? So it's the same thing applies in when you have that mindset. We have, I think of discipline, right? You have the discipline to say, okay, I had a meeting earlier today with one of our instructors in our organization, and one of the things he talked about is when you have students in your school, a lot of people think that black belt is the goal, right? Everybody thinks, okay, you get your black belt, you've achieved your goal. And what he pointed out and what he builds his program around is he sets it set 4th degree black belt is your goal. Because if you set your goal to get to black belt, you don't actually do anything that's black belt related, right? You get a piece of cloth around your waist that's black, but you haven't done anything, right? So it's like graduating college with an engineering degree and then you quit. It's like, well, what was the point, right? So he has it so it's all the way to 4th degree black belt. So now you're starting, the plan is set for you. Here's what you need to do to get there. Here's the obstacles you're probably going to run into along the way, right? If you have that quit mindset, you're never going to achieve anything past 1st degree black belt because you've already set your mind to that's where I quit. That's where I'm done. That's where I move on to something else. And when you have the desire and the resilience and the discipline to continue on, even if it gets hard, because obviously the further down the path you go, the harder things are going to be. But if you set yourself up in the beginning to be able to overcome those obstacles, when those harder ones approach you and come up, it's going to be a lot easier to pass those and go through them. So making it, discipline and mindset a part of how you do things, that starts to set the stage for the future when you know for sure you're going to be running into things that suck.
Everything in life, man.
Yep.
And the degree to which you can be responsible for scheduling it is the degree to which you can expect saying thank you and looking for a new one.
Yeah, there's so many different obstacles that are going to get in your way. Sometimes it's not necessarily always quitting. Sometimes you're scared, right? What is it going to do if I do this? It's going to be something different, and I'm not sure I want that, right? You have the fear of what's to come, the fear of the unknown, right? And then that changes how you think about, well, I don't really want to do that anyway. So you're going to adjust and move on to something different and not complete the task that's in front of you because you're scared of what could happen. And it's like, well, you don't know what's going to happen no matter what decision you make. So you got to make sure that the ones that you're making are the ones that are going to be the positive growth and not the ones that stop you from doing what it is that you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Mindset. Remember this about mindset. Mindset is past-based. Most people's mindset, which means it's set in a mind moment, that's past-based. So the degree to which you can be responsible for your past, the degree to which you can look at these things, make a new conscious choice, and move forward, totally empowered, is to look and see what does this look like? What is it that is holding me back? It's that red button. I always laugh. Remember those red buttons on the white where you hit it and it says, that was easy.
Yeah.
All I could think about when I first saw those was we all have these buttons. And if I push the button, there's a reaction. You hear something in your brain and you react. You get messy. You get unintentional. You get you get this feeling of a weight that comes from the past and suddenly is in front of you again, and the same thing happens and the same thing, and now you're stopped. How do you deal with that? Well, first off, you have to remember that it came from the past. You've dealt with it once. You may be incomplete about something. In other words, you may not have said what you needed to say in the time to the person you needed to say it to. And so you have this mindset of, it's all messed up. I can never get out of it. It's always going to be there. Notice I said can never, another word that is not the best to use around the dojo. And you capture this. And what you have to do, and you have to do this, is just go, okay, this is my past. I get it. I'm never going to not have it. Do I need to carry it plastered in front of my face so that I run into it every day over and over and over and over? And there are people out there that go, yeah, it's there when I wake up and it's there all day until I go to sleep. It's like, that's your choice. Take it off, set it to the side, and free up that space, free up that mindset right in front of you. Because in that space, you can do anything.
Yep, the mind is a powerful thing, right? But it listens to you as well. And what you tell it, what you feed it, what you put in it, that's what it's going to do. And there's a lot of things that when your mind hears things, it doesn't necessarily say positive or negative. It doesn't know the difference, right? The mind just does what you tell it to do. And how it responds to what things you say, those become positive or negative. But the mindset itself, it's like, okay, I'm not supposed to do this, so I'm not going to do it. I am supposed to do this, so I am going to do it. And that control that you have over your mind is what is going to make you successful or make you a failure. The mind itself doesn't know the difference. It's just going to do what you tell it to do. And it doesn't say, nope, don't do that. Nope, don't do that. You know, that way your conscious is telling you that, but your mind isn't. What your brain is going, it's like, okay, let's go. So that's why it's so important that when you feed your brain, when you feed your mind, that you feed it the things that are going to become positive for you down the road. Have that power to change what it is that you want to change for the good, and your mind will respond. That's why we have the mindset. It says, okay, whatever you think, whatever you bring into your brain, that's what's going to become, because that's how it works. It's not going to pick and choose what it likes and what it doesn't like. It just takes in whatever you give it.
And thus we have this thing called vision boards. When you do a vision board, why do you do a vision board? So that when you wake up, you look at it and you go, oh, that's what I want. And then tomorrow you wake up, same thing. Ooh, that's what I want. The next day, ooh, that's what I want. And eventually what you want rises up out of it's almost like a phoenix rising up out of the ashes, because it'll be there.
Yep. You get what you ask for. You get what you tell the universe what you want. You get it. Whether it's good or bad.
Yeah. 80 to 90,000 thoughts a day. Think about it.
Try and count one day how many thoughts I have.
Yeah. I'd have to record my day out loud.
Yeah, we really work hard on teaching our students how to think about themselves and how to think about what they're going to be doing. Most people don't think very far in the future. They might have set what they call goals, but they're more wishes or dreams, right? But they don't really put anything into them. There's no substance to them, right? So when we help these students create a mindset, we give them the pieces that put that whole puzzle together that create what it is that they want to be or what they want to do, as opposed to just giving them vague ideas of things, right? When we tell kids about, what it takes to earn their next belt or what it takes to earn their black belt, it's got meat, it's got substance. We talk about it a lot, right? And we focus on what it is that's going to change for them as they're moving down that path. What's going to make them a better person, a better student, not just in the dojo, but when they go to school or when they're at home or when they're with their friends or their family or they're at church. The way they think about things, the way they look at things, the way they analyze things is vital to what they're going to become, what it's going to turn into. And giving them the tools to be able to think that way and know how that, because it's something you have to do, right? It doesn't just happen. When you're thinking positive or negative, those things, you control that. So it takes work, it takes effort, and it takes an understanding of what does it take to think positive all the time? What does it take to have that mindset that tells me I'm not going to quit? And we create those tools in them, they start to develop that, because just like anything else, if you stop doing it, it stops growing. It stops going in that direction. Yep. So that
law of entropy. You're either expanding or contracting.
Yep. So we give them the tools that help them to understand how much power they have over what it is they want to do.
Love it. Love it. I love it. I love it. So why does all this matter? Well, in personal life, mindset determines how you approach each day and interact with the world. And you've heard from both of us different ways. It fuels growth, builds confidence, and empowers you to overcome life's challenges. In martial arts, mindset is equally crucial as it underpins the physical, emotional, and philosophical aspects of the practice. Whether striving for personal goals or mastering martial techniques, cultivating a strong, positive mindset is the foundation for achieving excellence.
I agree.
So, the one thing I can tell you about the 80 to 90,000, if you're the author of those and you're the generator of those, why generate anything that's not a happy pill? What's the point? I mean, do you really want to be that person?
Little bent.
A little bent, and it's missing a few spokes. Right? Do you really want to be that person? Or can you see yourself being empowered by possibility and having a wheel that's true, that has the spokes that are necessary, and creates a space for you to have an extraordinary life? That's the question I'd ask.
Yeah, it's entirely within your control. Outside influence only happens if you allow it to influence you.
Yeah.
That's part of it. Like if you are easily swayed by other people's opinions or other people's ideas or other people's decisions, then you're not in control. If what other people say affects you so much that you change directions or you change how you think about something to the point where it has detrimental effects on you, that's on you. You have to understand that your brain and your mind is yours and yours alone, and what you think, what you manifest in it is 100% your responsibility. Sure, you're going to take into account other people's opinions and weigh them against what you're thinking, but if it becomes to the point where your thoughts and your decisions don't have the same value as somebody else's do for you, then you're going to be lost.
Yeah. And if somebody tries to sell you a quick fix, there isn't one.
Well, there's the negative side is pretty quick. Negative things happen a lot faster than positive, it seems.
Yeah.
And then it's harder to recover from once they've happened.
And that is both grown-ups, youth, and seniors. So there's no age discrimination.
Nope.
It is a crazy, crazy world. Well, Mr. Yarwood, I appreciate this conversation. I hope it has made a difference for some of you as you're listening today. And I look forward to the next time.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of what we've been talking about, there's mindset built into everything that we do. It affects everything. We talked about attitude, right? What's your attitude and how do you do things? Mindset affects your attitude. What about goal setting? Well, what is it you want to do and how willing are you to work towards getting that goal, to achieving it? Mindset. Being disciplined in what you do, whether it be in school or at work or at taekwondo, your mindset determines how disciplined you're going to be. Are you going to easily quit or are you going to push through? Perseverance, mindset. I mean, you name it, mindset has an effect on it. So it's a foundational piece to everything that we do, whether it be at school, at home, at work, at taekwondo, at our regular life, wherever we are. So it's important to make sure that when you're thinking about what it is you're going to do and how you're going to respond to things, take that into account. What are the detrimental effects to having that negative mindset that sends you in the wrong direction?
Yeah, I think the mindset of today lacks responsibility, it lacks discipline, and it lacks common sense filtering.
I think it's short-term mindset. There's consequences aren't weighed for decisions and choices made.
Yeah.
It's a challenge. That's for sure. It takes work. It doesn't just happen. It's a conscious decisions, conscious choices that you make to have that positive mindset to get you to where you want to go.
Yeah. So for those of you that are wondering, what does it look like on the dojo floor? On the studio floor, the instructors put you into a mindset first by warming you up. Then at our school, sometimes before the warm up, there's reading and what do we call those boards? I mean, they're not an oath. They're what are the name of the boards?
Oh, you mean our what we say at the beginning?
Yeah.
The spirit of taekwondo.
The spirit of taekwondo. Sorry, I'm thinking vision, mission in my head. So I couldn't get that out of my head. But the spirit of Taekwondo, and we say that at the beginning, at the end. And that why do we do that? Create a mindset. You know, at a breakfast that I have with an all-male networking group, we pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States. Not many places do that anymore. And we wonder why there's an issue, why there's a funky mindset that exists out there.
Yep.
So I'm pretty excited. I appreciate you, Mr. Yarwood. Thank you so much.
Sir.
And look forward to seeing you tomorrow on the mats.
Yes, sir.
And with that,